This was paddock. It was farmland. It was grazed by sheep, by cattle for decades. Now, as you can see, it's covered in young trees of all different species. It's an example of how good things can happen when different partners come together.
This particular site that we're on now was purchased in 2019, and it's a really significant linkage between two major remnants.
It was the perfect link between some remaining remnant bits of Australian native bush where we have some really rare and threatened bird species.
There's two really significant malleefowl populations, one to the west and one to the east.
The next population is about 200 kilometres away from here. So if we lose this population here, we lose that species for a distance of 200 kilometres. Other species I'm thinking about is the hooded robin, diamond firetail, and all the woodland birds in the woodland bird suite.
We met Landlife in early 2019 and proposed that we could do this project potentially together with them. We didn't have the finance to afford to purchase it, but if they would take a stake in part of it that we did as a re-veg project, then we could afford to borrow the money and underwrite the project.
As a European kid, no kid anymore, but we obviously learned that Australia has one of the most unique biodiversities in the whole universe. So working here as a nature restoration company was a dream come true for us, and a place where we really can restore a lot of degraded land.
These woodland birds and the malleefowl, etc., are not just Australian species, but they're world heritage, and they're just as valuable to protect from a European perspective as they are from an Australian perspective. Once they're lost to Australia, they're lost to the world.
The thing that I really like about what Paul and Tim and Arno and the others have done here is they've thought about why they're restoring this landscape. It's not just let's just plant random trees, let's get growth for carbon, whatever. It's, hey, how can we actually link up the fragments in what is a super fragmented area of Victoria? We have the malleefowl populations on either side of this reserve, small isolated populations, and we've got a whole bunch of woodland birds and other animals that you heard Jeroen talking about that benefit from this.
Not just about investing in a project to maximise carbon, it really is about projects that can do as much as they can to recreate nature. It's wonderful to be on the site after 5 years and just see how much it's changed. And I said to someone earlier, I'd love to be around in 100 years to see what it'll look like then, but it's already well on the way to a fantastic piece of nature restoration.
I've been at the company for 10 years, I've never seen growth this fast. It's amazing how this was planted and how fast this came up. It's less than 5 years ago and the trees are taller than I am, and that's pretty amazing.
This is what's the motivator. This is what keeps all of us in the environment movement going, by seeing successes. You know, you can't just cope with disappointment after a setback.
To come to a site like this, quite degraded and quite eroded and quite destroyed, to have stepped in and resolved those threats, and then to see the response of nature to come back and really establish hundreds of thousands of trees and shrubs on this site, and to be on that journey is just amazing.
Fortunately, Cassinia Environmental saw the vision, understood the vision, and bought this land at the first possible opportunity. Trust for Nature has come on board to put a covenant on this property so it can never be damaged again. Now Bush Heritage Australia has taken up the baton and will now take this land steps even further by reintroducing rarer species into this land, by managing it to manage the grazing pressure, manage the fire threat, etc. into the future.
You have multiple partners from across the private sector, all playing their own role here. You've got Cassinia and Landlife revegetating, restoring the property. You've got Bush Heritage stewarding the property from now on. You've got Trust for Nature providing covenants for that permanent protection regardless of who the owner is, and many other stakeholders and people involved who are just doing good stuff. Seeing these paddocks become forests is a really good feeling, something that's just awesome to see. It's something to get excited about. It's something to be proud of that is happening in Australia. It's a good sign. I think, you know, it's very easy to be downhearted in conservation, and you need these wins, you need successes like this. You know, just look at this. Look at this and take it in and say, right, we're bringing things back. We are restoring. We've got a long way to go, but we can have successes, we can have wins, and I think that's really awesome. I'm going to go look for some birds.